The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Pop some new Cascade in your dishwasher with 50% more cleaning power. 50% more cleaning power. New Cascade does it better. 50% more cleaning power. New Cascade does it cleaner. Switch to new Cascade Platinum with 50% more cleaning power. No need to rinse your dishes, and it's even strong enough for the quick wash cycle. New Cascade Platinum. Pop some new Cascade in your dishwasher with 50% more cleaning power.
Are you ready for spring? Well, now's the perfect time to head out to your local garden center and pick up a hydrangea from Proven Winners to add to your landscape. Proven Winners hydrangeas are gorgeous and simple to care for. There's just no better or easier way to enjoy a flower-filled summer. Take the time to plant one now and look forward to years of enjoyment and compliments. Look for Proven Winners hydrangeas in the white containers at your favorite garden center.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
You have smoked yourself retarded.
here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Yes, Tolly. Yes, I do. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron,
And yeah,
and this is
Welcome.
Weedsman,
yeah, welcome back. We made
where we
it.
get high and just talk shit, I guess.
Yeah. 420's next week. Hooray.
Hey, you know what we should do on that day?
Get high?
Get high. Dude, you read my fucking mind.
No way.
See what happens? We do a podcast for so long together that we just become linked.
That's
Fucking
crazy.
mind meld.
And you figure our minds at this point would be mush. But no.
Yeah, 420, or how we like to refer to it as amateur night.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I did just remember I got some edibles in my glove box I've had there since like August. Guess what I'm eating next Tuesday? All right.
You're going to load up?
Well, I already got them.
Party?
I bought them for my last trip that I took from my old job.
I mean,
It
in
was-
your body. You're going to load
yes.
up. You're going to load them all up inside of you.
Yes, and load them all up into my face. Yeah, it was like a 2 for something deal, and I bought 2 and then never got to take the second one because it didn't fly anymore. It just dawned on me, they're still in my glove box. Yes.
Oh, and if you got that for flying, it's probably enough to knock you on your ass.
It's 100 milligrams, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's my flying dose. Although, man,
Yeah,
Rich has been
another
talking
420, huh?
Yeah, I said, Rich is talking. He'll eat shit like 200 and shit. Like, he'll do shit where I've taken it and I'll be like, no, too high. I'm good. And I hear at 400 you see shit. And Rich has confirmed that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He's gotten visuals.
Yeah?
I've tried to eat too many edibles. And I think there was just a cap. Like, I stopped getting high.
Well, yeah, like I said, with me, at some point, I'll just be like, I'm too fucking high with edibles. Because I said, we've talked about it ad nauseum for 7 years. But yeah, the thing with edibles is you can't control them. Like, once you have dosed, strap in, folks. It's like acid. Once you've taken what you're going to take, and there's no going back. You just got to ride it out. You know, we thought you could put a joint out, you could put a cartridge down after a couple hits, but you take 300 milligrams of edibles.
Well, because that shit hits you almost immediately. So you know right away, like, oh, time to slow down. But that's why they say start low and go slow. And that's I think, just good
you're breaking
advice
up again.
for... Oh, am I? Oh, boy. 420 is also the date that Apple picked to make its announcement for new products.
Uh-oh.
Thought that was a strange date. What
What
date does 420 fall on?
A Tuesday.
This year?
I just think it's on a Tuesday.
Is that normal for an Apple announcement? Don't they usually drop closer to the weekend? Or I don't know. I don't really follow them.
They're generally always on Tuesdays. They used to only have the one in the fall, and then a few years ago they added the one in the spring. I just think that the 420 this year is coincidental.
Okay.
Because it used to be everything in the fall, and then at some point it turned into just the phones in the fall, and then in the spring the iPads and the Macs.
So we're not getting an iBong?
Right? But you never know. Hey, and they are from the Bay Area for now.
Yeah. Maybe they bought out PAX.
Right? Maybe they'll have a weed subscription service. Which, by the way, Apple, I read an article that says for podcasts, you should now start asking people to follow you, because asking them to subscribe infers that you have to pay for it. Apparently that is the way the winds are blowing in podcast land.
Does that mean that Apple is planning on rolling out a subscription service that's built into its platform?
Yes, Apple is.
So they need to differentiate between subscribing and following.
Yeah. They're about to start getting into that game, but they're also starting to finally get into it. I don't know what took them long enough, especially since they were like the first huge podcast distributor. They're also finally going to start getting into their own original podcast production. Like, podcasts have been a thing since like 2006. Slow down, Apple.
So they're basically doing their own podcast network.
Yeah, they're going to start making their own content. They're going to start having there's going to be a premium service where you want to pay.
Well, I was actually reading earlier today about how Apple TV Plus is one of the top-rated streaming services when it comes to the quality of the shows. They don't have the big catalog, and they're not doing the same numbers as somebody like Netflix, certainly, or even HBO Max for that matter. But when it comes to bang for your buck, the perceived value that people, the subscribers talk about, or just the actual quality level of the shows that they produce for their own platform has all been really high. And I'd attest to that. I've been kind of disappointed by, well, I guess most of it. The only thing that I really loved through and through would be Ted Lasso. Everything else has been varying degrees of success, but I'd still say it was like good quality. It just really didn't all land for me personally.
Yeah, they sink a lot of money into production value, but maybe sink a little bit more of it into writing. Like,
it's possible. I don't think it's...
If your shitty written show looks good, it just looks good.
Right. But who knows? There's certainly a lot of good money to be made in the podcast business out there for stuff that's not what we're doing. I think there's a big demand for like really produced pieces, dramas. I don't know what else. I'm not a fucking. I don't know what they're gonna do, but if they're looking to get into like high production value and a little bit of feel of like old school radio dramas, I think people are really attracted to those. That's the route that I imagine them going, because what do you do? Like, Apple doesn't seem like it's big on pushing opinions. And that's pretty much all you get from most podcasts, is just a lot of opinions.
Well, it also seems too Spotify has kind of made their mark in the we're going to be that podcast network, right? We're going to be the personality-driven place where you get your podcast. They signed Joe Rogan. They've signed a whole bunch of other people that make them only exclusive to Spotify.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, I can't see Apple signing somebody like that because that would be too controversial. I can see them signing somebody more like, the guy who did Hamilton, right?
Lin-Manuel.
Yeah. Have him do like, a musical themed podcast that would have like a new, it would be like a drama with a musical number in each episode or something like that. That's just an idea of like the route that I see them going.
I will say, for as many opportunities as Apple has had to show that they're the wokest company in the room, they don't. Because you know what Apple really likes? Money.
Yeah.
They don't want their...
Yeah. That's
The
what
only
I'm
thing
saying.
they want their
they
audience-
don't always step up to that plate. I think they present the woke image in general like most of Silicon Valley does.
They don't virtue signal, though, because they want your
But
money.
they're not putting themselves out over it. They're not going to take a strong stance on something.
The only party lines they want you divided against are Mac versus PC.
Right.
You know, bottom line, Apple is there to make money. You know, it's the old Michael Jordan line. Hey, Republicans buy shoes too.
What?
Oh, I'm sure you're saying something good.
Ah, shit.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
All right. Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we're back. It lost internet for a couple days.
Did we start the show? I forget.
We started the show. Yeah, we already did the intro and everything.
Oh, all right.
And we talked a little bit about how Apple's doing its 420 release, and it's going to do the
right.
iBong.
And then everything went to hell. And then, and then that happened.
Yes, exactly. And that was it for... Now I'm just sounding like my internet's broken up. Let me gather my thoughts here. The internet kept going out consistently. It was like every 5 minutes it would drop out completely, and then a little bit would come back, and a little bit would come back.
A little bit more for Santa Claus. A little bit more for Santa Claus.
Yeah. It was fine if you just wanted to download stuff, but you couldn't stream anything, and you couldn't certainly have a conversation.
My God, what did it descend into anarchy at your house? Like, were your kids there? Holy shit.
My kids are, yeah.
They end up on the roof,
I had to,
like having a bonfire.
Because all I had to do was excuse them from school. So they were like, oh, that's fine.
Oh, that's, yeah, they're still doing online, right? So, yeah, it's great. Internet's out.
At the moment.
They can't go to school.
I don't know. They said that they were going to close all the schools down in Michigan for 2 weeks, and then my school is like, maybe not.
No, you know what it was? I didn't realize this until Sunday because somebody told me, because you know we both kind of do the same thing, and everybody does it. Like, we just kind of scan the headlines. All that shit she said on Friday was a suggestion. Yeah. It was so in a couple weeks she can be like, "Hey, I told you. Now I got to do it." That's my theory. She's being like a parent.
No, I know. I just thought that they were following the recommendation.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, "Oh, the no in-person learning," and then she was like, "Nope, I'm asking you to do this." But we're also, I think at this point, and not just picking on Michiganders in general, we're going to tell everybody, "Fuck off. There's a vaccine." Like, I think just in general, people are fatigued. There's
all right, but I didn't want to get off on another coronavirus thing.
That's true.
We got other shit we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Like what?
See, like you have coronavirus fatigue. You don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're the last podcast. We're the only one who hasn't had an episode devoted to explaining NFTs to people.
Well, we're musicians, right? So it's just DRM. Is essentially what it is, right?
That's what it sounds like to me. Although you can do a little bit more with that.
Well, yeah, you could like sell it, like this, like yeah. Well, you can buy stuff that's already famous and then like license it, right? Like,
well, because it's like crypto. It has basically a ledger built into it. So it's like DRM with a ledger, and you're actually buying. Well, it depends on what it is. Like, in some cases, you're buying the rights to distribute that thing.
Yeah, like Kevin Smith's doing it with what movie did he make?
Kilroy Was Here or Is Here. I'm not sure which one it is. I think Kilroy Was Here is the saying. And let's see that. But there's on the poster for it. It says it looks like the cover of an old like creepy or horror magazine. Mm-hmm. It says Kilroy Is Here, a very scary movie by Kevin Smith.
And he's pretty much given up all rights to it. Like, you get to like once you buy it, you can like you can make money off of it. You can license it to like theaters and shit like that. And
well, that's the thing is, you're signing a contract for rights essentially, and that varies quite greatly. I mean, you can buy rights for something for just to adapt into one other thing. You know, like, for example, you can buy the rights to adapt any Stephen King property for $1 if you're just producing it amateurly. If it gets picked up, if you sign a contract with CBS to, go straight to series on something, Stephen King's going to get his cut, of course.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing it as an amateur project or a speculative thing or to possibly, promote a project or something, you just pay him $1. So that's a special rights situation. While, in most cases, you have to option properties for hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, just to option it so that you can write a script, so that you can present a script, so you can try and sell it. And most times that doesn't even happen. So anyway, all I'm saying is that lots of different ways to distribute rights. And some of it's permanent and some of it's not. Some of it is just distribution rights and some of it is ownership. And that goes the same for NFT. Now, when you're looking at purchasing an NFT, people are looking at actually like, I want to have rights to this. But that doesn't remove the seller from it completely. You can have, you can make an NFT where the creator gets a little kickback from every transaction. So if this person just wins an auction for this Kilroy movie, let's just throw out a number and say $200,000, right? They bid on this thing for the rights to it. But then they turn around and sell it to somebody else for $1 million. Or somebody else approaches them and says, hey, we want to distribute this. We'll give you, $80,000 for yours. But whatever that deal is, it could be written into that NFT that Kevin Smith still gets kicked back on that.
I was going to say, can he come back and retroactively get a kickback?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can he sell it outright and then be like, wait, you just sold for $100 million? Hey, Kevin Smith wants to get $10 million of those $100 million.
Well, I don't think you can't do it retroactively as far as stating the terms, but yes, you can absolutely collect on that if you're, again, this is all if you, and I don't know what kind of contract or NFT Kevin Smith has set up, but it is possible to set it up so that independent artists can continually get paid every time that NFT changes hands, every time that money is made off that NFT, a cut can go back to the artist.
Oh, bands, is this the future?
I think, well, just imagine, even when we're talking about like tens of thousands to millions of dollars in fine art, original modern produced fine art, that original artist can have a show and sell out all of his pieces, and probably if he's popular enough or good enough, he could make a healthy amount of money, even enough to live on sometimes. But that's it, right? Their art goes out into the world and continues to go up in price. And meanwhile, that artist might continue to go down in esteem as far as their current work. And they could, it happens all the time. Not just fine art, but artists all over the world are just who have works out in the public that people enjoy still and are making money, but they die penniless.
So, music, this could be the future for artists.
Yeah. And I know there's certainly a lot of pushback on this NFT shit of people pointing out how much energy is produced in just cryptocurrency. And I guess this NFT thing is a little bit more of it takes more processing power than just a traditional crypto coin, and that makes sense. It's a little more complex of a thing, right? But that's just our current. That's really short-sighted. That's our current situation, right?
So the phrase we have forgotten about, it seems, the last decade or so. How about shut the fuck up? Progress is going to progress.
I've seen so many people unreasonably push back on this, and criticize artists who are just trying to hey, this is a new way for me to possibly make money off my art. Yeah, I'm going to try it. And they're being openly criticized, not just for jumping on a fad, but now for helping destroy the planet just to make a few bucks on some stupid thing that's not going to matter any. I'm like, well, no. Like, if NFTs remain a thing, that's yet to be seen. If Bitcoin remains a thing, yet to be seen. If any of this cryptocurrency goes anywhere, is TBD, right?
Hey, it's a good year to own crypto right now. I'll tell you that.
But it does look more and more realistic as our likely future of how we're going to handle any kind of transactions, not just monetary, but, you know, rights transactions like we're talking about with NFTs.
I mean, I've had the thoughts.
This is how it's going to be. So, like, I can understand, yes, be mad that we're, you know, setting up these fucking server farms that, you know, could heat houses, but are just expelling energy out into nowhere, just as exhaust. Like, okay, it's an unfortunate situation, but it's not like it's always going to be like this. We're kind of pushing the limits of our technology right now, and yeah, it's not really the most efficient way, but we're trying to position ourselves so that once, you know, quantum computing and battery technology and all this other stuff that we talked about kind of boots us into that next generation of all kinds of technology and really opens up our whole world of how we interact with technology. It's going to be a completely different story. You know, it's not that far off that you're going to be able to compute the things that you now need server farms for on something that looks like a slap band that you wear on your wrist with a little display on it. You know, that's how far quantum computing is going to take us. It's not just that, like, you can wear the computer. Just like our phones now are more powerful than NASA when they sent people to the moon, still more powerful than the computers that they now send to Mars, our wearable technologies are going to be the equivalent of a server farm full of, you know, graphics cards pumping out Bitcoin.
Two things. Social media taught me there will always be somebody to hate on anything. So there's always that. We have a picture of a baby holding a puppy, and someone's going to hate on it. So there's that. But the other thing too, you said something that kind of, how long does money have? I mean, I've had the thought recently, like coins got to be like 20 years. That's it for coins. Mm-hmm. Like, and cash, maybe I'll be liberal. Maybe before we die, cash goes away.
I think that's pretty likely.
I mean, I have stopped, like, my getting paid to me has been, there's been somebody changing numbers for at least 2 decades. Like, I haven't cashed a check in since 2004. Like, when I get paid. Like, it's all been just changing numbers.
Yeah, we've already abstracted it. And so at that point, it's not like the jump to cryptocurrency is some great, you know, leap of blind faith that we all have to be like, oh God, I hope this works. It's just going to be a natural shift because it will be digital money like we already experience, only this one has some actual security on it so that somebody can't just get my account number and hack my account and steal my money.
But I have a Coinbase account. I can do the same thing though right now.
You do the same thing what?
I have a Coinbase account and a bunch of crypto. Yeah. I can take money out of it right now. I can get a Coinbase ATM card.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I can just transfer it to my own bank account. Hey, I want $50.
What I'm saying is that people are going to realize that is the only difference, really. The only core difference between the numbers on their, you know, Capital One bank account app and the numbers in their Bitcoin wallet are the same, only the Bitcoin wallet has an added layer of security.
Yeah, you can go
built into it.
Well, but too, you can go to the bank. You can't go to you can't go to your crypto wallet. That's the other thing too, right? And it's branding. Like, you know what a bank is. You're familiar with a bank. You know, so people over 50, crypto is this crazy new computer money that the kids are using.
Right. But there is some security that we think about in the tangible.
Well, actually, technically,
Obviously,
too,
but-
there is. There's the FDIC on banks. There's technically
Sure.
real security on that as well.
Well, that's not really security. That's insurance. Right?
Depends on your definition of
That's-
security. Yeah, correct.
Well, no, I mean, it's covering your ass for where your security has lapsed.
yes.
So that's why I'm kind of saying it's not really security, and differentiating it from what happens with Bitcoin.
Like I said, it's like if the bank fails, you're going to get your money up to a certain amount. Whereas your crypto disappears right now, oh well. Like that guy who's on who what was the story a few months ago? The guy
that he couldn't find his password. That's right. So that can happen, but it's not like it's more difficult for somebody to hack your account and steal your Bitcoin than it would be for them to hack your account and steal your quote unquote dollars.
It's true. It's how blockchain is.
Right.
And that's what people don't know. It's new and weird and scary to them, and you fear what you don't understand.
But people don't want to move all of their investments into Bitcoin, and I don't think now is the time to do that anyway. But because they want that option for cash, so that if something happens, they can go to the bank and withdraw all their money in cash and have some control over it. But honestly, if things break down enough so that you can only use cash to pay for things, that's going to be a very temporary situation, because that's
going to be like
just
Road Warrior shit.
Right. We're talking about
We're back to your kids starting a fire on the roof.
There's going to be a sweet spot of, I'm guessing, 6 weeks where that cash is going to be valuable, and then you're going to be burning it for warmth.
Right. Yeah, if we get to that point in society, it's over.
Yes.
That dude showing up with the flaming guitar.
Right. And as long as society does hold together, which I know that it seems less and less likely if you pay attention to the news, but, we weathered a megalomaniac president and a worldwide pandemic, and I'm not saying we're doing okay, but I don't think that we're on we're not on life support right now. We've managed to weather worse.
But also, it's kind of tangentially related to the conversation, though.
No, but I'm sorry, I didn't finish my thought. What I was saying was, as long as society holds together, there's no difference between the fake money and the real money.
It's true. As long as people can buy
it's
things.
It's all conceptual.
That's all.
Yes.
That's all anyone cares about.
If society falls apart, cash falls apart. NFTs fall apart. Everything, all contracts that man has made with other men fall apart when society crumbles. As long as society holds, then generally, our contracts are honored.
We'll see.
I'm not saying all of them, and not that there's some crooked shit going on. But I'm talking about if you think cash is going to collapse, that's a bigger problem.
Yeah. It's all a concept anyway. Which is shifted.
Not an abstract for some, though. There's a lot of people like the Casa Bonita restaurant that would need some cash right now that would make a difference in life or death.
I've been there. Remember when I went
You've
on
been
my
to Casa Bonita?
Remember when I went on my Colorado trip? I went to Casa Bonita.
That's right.
I watched them stage. And remember, I told you I was disappointed.
You run around the place and oh man!
No, I remember being disappointed. I remember it being a lot.
Where's the fountain?
I remember it being a lot shittier than I thought it was going to be, and it smelled like fucking mildew. I'm like, I don't smell mildew while I'm fucking eating.
Oh well, maybe that's why the place is not doing so well.
Well, it's a restaurant. It's a place. It's something where you can.
Chris, it's not just a restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant. Like, the bar for Mexican restaurants is on the ground. We let them slide probably with maybe Chinese restaurants get away with more.
I was just
maybe.
It's more just where we are right now as a country and as where the world is. It's a restaurant without a window. It's a restaurant right now that depends on people being able to come in and congregate.
Oh yeah.
Done. Like
No patio on that place, huh?
Yeah, no. If there's not a drive-through window, or a patio, or right now you are hurting if you're that type of restaurant. And apparently, Casa Bonita hurting for money.
Is it like a large place? So do you think was it well known before it appeared in that South Park episode? Or was this one of those things where this was the restaurant that the writers would eat at all the time? And they were just like, let's make them love Casa Bonita. I mean,
it looked kind of like, it reminded me of like Mexican medieval times, like kind of what the thing they had going, like you get the show while you eat and all that shit.
So jousting on donkeys,
buzzing. No, just how there's the show while you're eating, that kind of shit, and just the aesthetic of the place, and it was more like how the seating was. It reminded you more of like being in a theater rather than a restaurant, that kind of shit.
Welcome to Casa Bonita. You're just in time for our donkey show. Oh, my God.
Oh,
no, not that time. No, it's not that.
But I also remember sitting there thinking, like, I mean, it was Denver, and I was super high at the time. Like, who came up with this? Hey, let's go to a place where you can eat food and watch people cliff dive. Said nobody ever. But apparently it worked for a while, because that's the thing is, I could tell you, looking around, that place had been around for a minute, so I'm guessing it maybe had a little bit of juice before South Park. But I'm guessing South Park put it on the map nationally.
Right. It was probably a very well respected and known local spot.
But that's it. Done. Over. Is it closed
I don't know.
Yet?
It says, let's see. This NBC article says the 46-year-old restaurant's future appears uncertain, but its website says it will be reopening soon.
Oh, so it's coming back.
No, I mean, its website says it will be reopening soon, which means I don't think that they've updated their website since March of 2020.
Oh, wah, wah.
It was forced to shut its doors at the beginning of the COVID pandemic in March 2020. Yeah, so it hasn't been open at all since. And that, so, yeah, that's...
So it's closed and it's opening? Or it's closed and it's staying closed?
No, they made an official announcement that they are filing for bankruptcy, and it is, let's see.
It's curtains for the donkey show?
It's Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So isn't Chapter 11, you dissolve your company and distribute what assets are left, and then you dust your hands off and start a new one?
Let's see. Let's see what the Google machine says.
Oh, no. It says right here in the article, allows the debtor to propose a plan of reorganization to keep its business alive.
Oh.
So I guess it is a possibility that they could just, that they could reopen it sometime. And if you click on their website, it does say on their website that they will be reopening at some point in the future.
And Eric Cartman rejoiced.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.
This is your new home speaking. I know you haven't moved in yet, but I need some favors. Could you dust the blinds? The dust makes me feel dusty. Also, we could save a lot of money if you bundled your home and car insurance with Geico. It's super easy to do online or over the phone. Last favor, when you move in, could you stick to one aesthetic? The last owner had a weird mix of floral wallpaper and nautical tchotchkes, and I can't have another identity crisis.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
If we go to page 11 in the presentation, you'll see that... You'll see we're on target to meet our quarterly...
Some things never change. Like nobody can resist popping plastic bubbles. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
As I was saying, we're on target to meet... Excuse me, Miss Hansen.
Sorry, almost done.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired sports commentator Dick Vitale.
Tonight's matchup is me versus an ugly fender bender. If I can eke out a win, it would be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your claim.
That's going to be a nail biter.
Nope. The Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Now that's a dipsy-do dunkaroo of a claims team. Geico is awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Hello, this is your apartment. I need some favors from you. Your cat keeps rubbing against the kitchen island, and I can't return the favor. Can you give her extra pets for me? After that, could you bundle your renters and car insurance with Geico? We could save money, and it's easy to do online. And one last thing. Could you leave the TV on during the day? I need to catch up on my soaps.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Are you ready for spring? Well, now's the perfect time to head out to your local garden center and pick up a hydrangea from Proven Winners to add to your landscape. Proven Winners hydrangeas are gorgeous and simple to care for. There's just no better or easier way to enjoy a flower-filled summer. Take the time to plant one now and look forward to years of enjoyment and compliments. Look for Proven Winners hydrangeas in the white containers at your favorite garden center.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at homedepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
It's planting season. That means that now is the perfect time to add some color to your yard. And for that, you can't do better than roses from Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. They're the ones in the white containers. Each one has been trialed and tested by a team of expert horticulturists. Look for Proven Winners roses in the white containers at your local garden center, because you and your home deserve the best.
Media.net.
The Weedsman Podcast.
Speaking of Mexican restaurants, the first digital-only Taco Bell is going to be open, or actually, as of releasing this, will be open in Times Square.
I thought you were talking about Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, that's right.
It used to be Tex-Mex. Now, I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's its own thing.
Yeah. Like, it's... trust me, I think we've talked about this before. I'm a basic bitch now when I go first of all, Taco Bell's my drunk food. I've realized that. Like, whenever I've had a couple at the golf course and I hit up food on the way home, it is always Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And just give me the hard taco. Straight up. Like, give me a bunch of hard tacos. I'm in. Done. Or like a beef burrito. Like, none of this crazy shit where they're shoving a chalupa into a burrito, into a fucking taco, into a fucking pile of nachos. None of that.
Yeah, the taco burrito turducken bullshit. Yeah. I don't need any of it. And I used to go for all of that shit. I used to be like, "Oh, new item, let's try it out." Now I'm like, there's too many ways that they manage to fuck up these 4 ingredients, but the taco seems to be the still foolproof one, right? Because of its kind of self-containing structure, you cannot fuck it up, right? As long as the beef goes in first, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, actually, you just nailed it. There is a way to fuck it up.
Right.
Put the lettuce in the bottom.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to fuck it up, though.
That's true.
Even the most remedial of the workers can manage to go beef, cheese, lettuce.
I always say
when a beef, cheese, lettuce packet.
When the minimum wage argument always come up, that's one of the things I always say to people. If you could teach a 16-year-old to do it, it's not that hard. You shouldn't get paid that much to do it. Yes.
Although at Taco Bell, it goes beef, lettuce, and then cheese. But when I make tacos, I like my cheese to be nestled against the warm beef, and then the lettuce goes on top. Yes.
Why does nobody do that?
I do not understand.
Let the fucking cheese melt and then put the lettuce on top.
Yeah. They want all that cheese to be on top so that you can see it, but then it all flies off of your taco when you take one bite of it.
It's less shit to fall off your taco, too, because it starts melting. And same thing. When I make my tacos at home, cheese goes on top of the hot thing so it can melt.
Fuck it. We're doing it. Let's see. Change.org. We're going to start a petition right now. We're going to be the spearhead of this movement. We're going to get the cheese under the lettuce.
This might be the most Weedsman thing we've ever done.
What do you do with the fucking burger? Can you imagine if somebody gave you a burger and it was burger, lettuce, and then cheese on top of the lettuce? And you're like, well, how did you fuck this up?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, they're letting... Never mind, I was about to make a politically incorrect joke. Like, oh, they're letting you cook. Oh, you're special. They let you in the kitchen. I'll use a better comparison. Look, a dog wearing people clothes. Exactly. Like, anything else you put cheese on, you put it on the hot thing.
Mm-hmm. You want the cheese melted.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. Like, they're trying to preserve the perfect structure of that cheese string.
Yeah.
Like,
that
no.
All natural, 100% Wisconsin aged.
The Taco Bell chef, what's the head chef's name that was on the commercials?
She was like, woman.
The cheese must be consumed cold in order to retain its texture and its bite.
Oh, wasn't it like Lillian Garcia? Adam Carolla brought her up a few months ago.
Well, yeah, because the deaf frat guy was into her.
Yeah. But he went on his whole, if you're the executive chef at Taco Bell, it's time to look in the mirror rant.
Yeah.
No, that was, wasn't it?
I bet it was a sweet gig.
Yeah, what it was is she probably got paid a shit ton to be in the commercial and say she was it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was like what, the year Taco Bell tried to pretend it was hot. That's right, because Chipotle had just started showing up everywhere. So Taco Bell tried to pretend it was high-end for a second. And then people went, shut the fuck up, you're Taco Bell.
Yeah, I'm sure they just went out and hired somebody that had a degree and was like, would you like to be our head chef? Sure, what would I need to do? Just tell people that you're our head chef.
It's like if Pabst or Coors was like, hey, we make an IPA now. People would go, shut the fuck up, you're Pabst and Coors.
Yeah. Well, that's part of this Taco Bell announcement was that this is part of a push that Taco Bell is looking to rebrand itself a little bit. And they've been doing cantinas. There's 20 of them across New York right now.
What, and they can get booze?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if I had all of them. Described in the CNBC article as restaurants that are smaller and more modern and upscale, featuring open kitchens and alcohol on the menu.
For me, that would just be cutting out the middleman. Just get drunk at the Taco Bell.
Taco Bell has already opened more than 20 cantinas across New York's 5 boroughs, and the Times Square location includes all of the typical features of a cantina except the menu boards.
So how do you know what the fuck? You just use your phone?
All on screen.
Oh.
I think there's screens that you interact with, but yeah, probably you could do it on your phone just as well.
It's probably like the McDonald's at the Minneapolis airport. There's one side where I
totally go there all the time. I was just I had lunch there the other day.
No, I was just about to lay it out for you. There's one side if you're old and you have to walk up to a counter and talk to somebody, you can do it. And then there's another side that's nothing but kiosks, and you just go and hit what you want, and pay and all that, and then someone hands you your shit in like 5 minutes.
That is the way to do it.
Yes.
Because many people, first-time experience, will choose to go the traditional route, and then they will watch people speed through that other line while they sit and wait for their food and go, oh, I just got to get with the program if I want my burger on time. And that's what they'll do. Otherwise, they'll just keep pushing back on it. Because people just love pushing back on shit.
Dude, trust me, I don't understand why this technology... There's still people resisting it. Trust me, I used to work with them. But I went to it was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Mandy and I ordered Boston Market. And just did it through their app, right? Did it and I walk in to where I get it, and the fucking line is just wrapped for people to, they're standing in line because they got to, walk up to the thing and give me the prime rib and the... And I just walk in, it's, it's signed, like, online pickup. I walk in, give them my name, they hand me my shit, and watch, 15 people just stink eye me. Like, what the fuck did this guy just do? Because I walked in, got my shit, I was in there 30 fucking seconds.
Yep. Because everybody else is waiting in line for somebody else to push the buttons that you pushed on your phone.
Yes!
You're like a guy walking around with a cellular phone into a village full of people that are lining up for a payphone.
Right? Like, yeah, who the fuck is this guy? He doesn't have to wait to use the phone. He can just use it whenever he wants.
Yep.
Hey, this does remind me of something I've always...
It must be Mr. Boston.
I've always thought of...
He just calls it in.
Another Change.org petition. If you use the self-scan at the grocery store, you should get a discount. Because you're doing the job. And it would incentivize people to use it. Hey, use here, you get 5% off. Or something like that. Somebody would be drawing a salary to scan my groceries, but I'm doing it instead. I have no problem with it, because I can do it at my speed and get the fuck out of there. But I'm just saying, like, if I had a Kroger thing on my shirt and I was doing it, you'd be paying me money to do it.
No, absolutely. Look, I've been paying for somebody else to gather my groceries and prepare them and load them into my car for me through Instacart, rather than paying the full freight to have it delivered. You're just paying the, whatever 5 or 10% extra that they top onto every item.
Someone to walk it out to your car. Well,
for them to
deal with all the bullshit.
To walk around, gather the shit, make replacements. And it's done by the employees at Aldi, so it's not like they're just picking out whatever. I'm sure they're being told, pick out good produce, don't throw bruised shit into their cart. And yeah, so I'm paying extra for that. And if I want to go and do the shit myself, I can save myself $5. So yeah, it absolutely does make sense to have, if you're cutting out some labor at some point, there should be some savings.
Yeah, especially too, if I'm doing it at like prime time, I'm saving you a cashier salary and a bagger salary. Give money off my fucking groceries, Kroger. I'm doing the work. I don't work there. But yeah, have we said all we wanted to say on the digital Taco Bell? Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I guess. I thought I had some jokes holstered about Taco Coin, but I can't seem to come up with them.
There it is.
We'll move on. I have no concept now of how far we are into the show because it's been broken in two.
I think when we stopped, it was almost like an hour 20 in. At least on the timer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now it says we're rolling around 40.
I checked out the new Joss Whedon show on HBO.
Oh, are you canceled?
I guess, because I liked it. I actually forgot.
You're supporting him.
I had forgotten about the show, and then I saw, a banner for it somewhere, and I was like, they got some new genre show. It's HBO. Well, why wouldn't I check it out? I already have the app. I like genre shit. And so I watched the first episode, and I was like, well, this is Steampunk X-Men. I'm like, wow, this is really Steampunk X-Men.
What's it called? The Nevers?
Oh, yeah. It's like, if you know the X-Men, all this stuff has been in the movies too. I'm watching it going, oh, that's their Hellfire Club. There's the League of, or the, what do they call them? The Evil Mutants. I can't remember.
I don't know.
There's that character's their Professor X. Oh, look, they even have a Cerebro. There's one character that can reach out to all the others, and she sings, and it identifies other gifted people. So it's essentially like she's a Cerebro, the thing that Professor X straps onto his head to find where all the mutants are in the world. And I don't say that as a criticism. I hope that it's fine for a setup. I hope they do their own thing with it. And then I watched the credits for it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. This is the Joss Whedon show. Absolutely makes sense. Patterned exactly off of the X-Men, but with more strong female characters. I was like, yeah, this totally felt like a Joss Whedon product.
No, his canceling thing, he didn't even do anything, right? He was just mean. That's why he was very mean to somebody when he made Buffy.
Well, he seems to have been, so a lot of this stuff started with the Justice League shit, and I kind of gave him a pass on that because I was like, man, that was just a fucked up situation. You know, the whole having to step in for somebody else and change the, you know, he made his own version of that movie. He changed the vision for it completely. And, you know, I could see why, you know, that would ruffle some feathers. But, yeah, now hearing about, mainly it's about Charisma Carpenter, who played, what was her character's name on there? Cordelia. She is very funny, very fun character, kind of ditzy, but very lovable. And, I mean, apparently Joss Whedon just treated her like shit. Was just, like, absolutely horrible to her. And there was, like...
Maybe she sucked. Did anyone ever ask that question? How was she?
No, it wasn't shit like that. Like, she was doing fine on the show. People loved her in the show.
I mean, like, as somebody to work with, was she a walk in the park?
Yeah, I don't know. Right. No, I know what you mean. You don't know the full story to it. But part of it was also the fact that I can't remember exactly how the story went, but I think she became pregnant at some point during the filming of the show. And
didn't he ask her, what were you going to do about it?
Yeah, that was basically it.
I'm not trying to be, like, cold and callous here. Maybe I am, but, like, if you're in entertainment, doesn't that kind of come with the territory sometimes? Like, do they ask you, are you going to keep it, or like just for, like, maybe he sucked at doing it. Maybe it was him trying to figure out, are we going to have to do shots where we have to hide your pregnant stomach?
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what it is. You know, his first thought went to, how is this going to fuck up my job?
Yeah.
Right? And that seems to be like half of the job of the showrunner or director of a project is identifying things that are going to fuck up your job.
The way it was framed, it's not like he's the dad. Like, so what are you going to do? Like, I was thinking about, like, I heard that. I was like, I actually understand why he asked that. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, all right, if we're still shooting in 7 months, how is this going to affect it?
Yeah. But I think there's also the fact that Joss Whedon has, you know, he's the male feminist, right? That's how he's been marketing himself. He is the one who loves strong female characters, right? And he was pushing boundaries with this Buffy show, and he's always writing these, you know, strong, independent women, but how he actually interacts with women in his real life seems to be very different.
It just all made sense then now. It's the 2021 purity test. Got it. I understand it now. It's this whole, everybody's got to be perfect, nobody can do no wrong, and if you have a transgression, we will just find it and just flog you with it.
Right. Well, there was the Ray Fisher story came out this week too. So remember, Ray Fisher was the guy who played Cyborg in the Justice League movie, and he had a very bad experience with working under Joss Whedon. I shouldn't say working under. He was being directed by Joss Whedon, and he was rather cryptic about it. And I guess he finally did a full interview with, I think it was Vanity Fair, where he laid it all out. And the thing is, once he laid out the full story, I understood and sympathized. I said, yeah, that sounded like a fucked up experience, you know? Especially going into a project expecting it to be one thing, it turns out to be something else. And there was definitely, he felt more like when he was working with Zach, it was collaborative. And for working for Joss Whedon on Justice League, it was more like he just felt like the token black guy.
Well,
right? Which he totally was in that movie. I mean, he doesn't do anything in the original Justice League. It's like, why did they even introduce this character?
At the risk of sounding I'm trying to minimize what the gentleman went through, I'm hearing you had one boss and then you got a new boss and you didn't like the new boss.
Yeah, I'm with you. He had a shitty boss. And I'm sympathetic, but I think most of us have stories that are worse than yours. I mean, think about what having a shitty boss really means for a lot of people. Anywhere from just, dreading day in and day out for years coming to work to actually being harassed and sometimes even molested by your own boss. That's what working for a real shitty boss is. Not like I spent 6 weeks on a project and it turned out it was shitty.
Yeah, 6 weeks on a project that I got probably six figures for. Not sure of his status, maybe 7. You did not do it. You didn't up and quit halfway through. Go, this sucks. You suck. I'm out. This is horrible. You still did. You still stayed and finished.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, he's welcome to his opinion. I think
everyone's got to be a victim. Everyone's got to have their victimhood story now. It's just the way the winds have been blowing for the last 5+ years.
So on Kevin Smith's show recently, he had comic book writer Ed Brubaker on. Ed Brubaker he was the writer of Captain America for the story that brings Bucky back and makes him into the Winter Soldier. So Ed Brubaker, while he didn't create Bucky, he definitely created the Winter Soldier. There wouldn't be that Winter Soldier metal-armed character in the Marvel Universe if it wasn't for him. They had him on recently, and they were, of course they had him on because of the show that's on Disney Plus right now, featuring that character. And they asked him, so are you caught up with the show? What do you think of it? And he's like, I can't watch it. And he went on to tell them a long story about while he has no animosity and he's friends with all these people who work in the industry, he writes for TV as well. And he worked on Westworld. I mean, he works for Warner Brothers as well. Like, he's not just bitter all the time about it, but when asked about his honest opinion about it, he's like, my honest opinion is, I'm kind of sick over how much money Disney is making off of my character, and I don't see any of that.
Well,
and he had legitimate beef, but he's not going. I mean, he, as Kevin Smith put it, spilled a lot of tea during that conversation. And I saw news stories afterwards popping up all over the nerd sites about how Ed Brubaker's speaking up about how he's getting screwed over.
But I would say to somebody like that, should have had a better lawyer or get one now. If this is something you can prove, it's...
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's like he's not trying to make... He was asked his opinion, right? So he's not out there doing interviews so that he can spread the message of Disney screwing him over, right? He's friendly with Mark Bernard and the co-host, and he kind of knows Kevin Smith, and it's kind of a relaxed show, and they wanted to talk about the show, and so that's what he could input. My input on the show is, it makes me kind of sick to my stomach to watch it. I can't watch it, and it's because I feel like I got screwed over. But again, he's not doing interviews based on that. He's not putting out press releases. He's not suing Disney because it's not worth it. He also said, I do well. His work sells well. He's respected. He's won awards. He's able to take care of his family. He's not.
He can afford
rich.
Lawyers.
But it's not worth it, right? He doesn't need to invest time. It would just be nice. And part of this is because he does work in the industry and he is close with a lot of these people that it seems like such an open slap in the face to him to just be ignored on this. Yeah, that you created this character. We just made $1 billion off these Marvel movies. And they offered him, he wouldn't say the amount, but he finally said something that he was like, it would pay a month's, they essentially offered me a month's rent in New York on a studio apartment. Like, it was like a few $1,000s that they were like, hey, thanks for writing this. That movie, do you see how much that movie made?
I was going to say, or did he do, well, you just told what he did. I was going to ask, did he do like, where he did take a bunch of money and then the movie ended up making way more money and he's like, son of a bitch.
No, this is because of the way that the rights are, he stepped in and wrote on Marvel's book, right? He didn't come to them with Captain America and Bucky story, or Bucky characters, Marvel already owned them, obviously, right? So he's just writing other people's products. So when you do that and you create a character, you have certain creator rights to that character that allows you a commission or whatever, you know, based on if you know, like Rob Liefeld is probably still getting checks from all these different ways that they're used in Deadpool. And it's not a ton of money, but it adds up when you're talking about millions of dollars in movies and T-shirts and all this, you know, Funko Pops and all that shit, right? But as far as the core rights to the character, what they do with that, that's just up to whatever deals they make. And in this case, Disney owns all of it, so they're not dealing with anyone, right? They don't have to make a deal with Marvel anymore. It's like, this is our property, we make this movie with it. So they really don't have to pay any rights to take any of the stories that are in the comics and adapt them into a movie. Now, a lot of them choose to either get the original creators involved in some way so that they get a check.
Well, because you need street cred with the nerds.
Right. Or, you know, try and compensate them in some way. But that's the problem, is that there's not a structure for the artist to actually get paid on this stuff. So suing or making a public campaign is the only way for them to actually get properly compensated for their work. And, you know, most of them don't want to go that route because they don't want to be that guy. They don't want to burn their bridges in the industry. They don't want to be known as some crybaby, and they just grin and bear it. They eat another pile of shit. You know, Marvel releases another movie. They see their character on the screen, and they go, all right.
This is why you got shoved in lockers, nerds. You just roll over. Let Disney take all your money. Kidding.
So I don't know. Like, if Ray Fisher was asked his opinion, honestly, and I'm sure he has been many times now since, but if it was just something where he was asked his opinion and he said, I have to say it was a shitty experience. I liked working with Zach. I hated working under Joss. And this is why. You know, that's understandable. He's welcome to his opinion. I think he should offer his honest opinion. But to make it like a mission, right? It was like a campaign to make people know what was going on.
Joss
and then when you find
out,
and when you find out what was going on, yeah, it was basically that. Your boss was an asshole.
Yeah. Everyone's had an asshole boss. Everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how you can say that Joss Whedon is even canceled. His show just premiered on HBO, and it was the top rated as far as number of streams of any HBO Max original so far.
Well, that also kind of seems to be a trend, is people being quote unquote canceled, but their fucking juggernauts just keep right on rolling. Like that Morgan Wallen guy.
It makes you wonder how much of this cancellation, like, I'm sure there's people that are trying to control it. Like, much like a porn tape, right? A porn tape used to be a thing that would destroy you, and then it stopped being something that would necessarily destroy you. So then people started, quote unquote, leaking porn tapes. And I wonder if there's some people that are getting a little bit soft canceled just so that they can get some press, because any press is good press.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah, that could be a thing now, right? It's like if some of these cancellations are I wonder if we're going to learn that in a few years.
Yeah. Because what did we find out about Joss Whedon? He's a shitty boss. He's not as cool to women off screen as he proposes to be on screen. Okay, so that means I should do what now?
Yeah.
Burn my Buffy DVDs? If he's going to make, as long as he's not a monster and he's still making stuff that's fun to watch. Like, I didn't expect a lot from Joss Whedon. When I saw Buffy, I didn't go, oh my God, this guy is going to change the world. Who is this Joss Whedon person?
Right.
I'm voting for him I'm writing him in for president of the world.
One day this guy's going to make Marvel movies.
Oh, we forgot to talk about weed, though.
Yeah, I know there's one.
What was going on with weed?
New Mexico's governor made it official.
Oh, yeah.
New Mexico now has... New Mexico quietly, all of a sudden, it's like, hey, we want to have weed now. And they do.
Yep, making it quite the year for cannabis now.
Yeah, and it's only April.
Yeah.
So you get New Mexico, New York. Come on, New Hampshire. Let's go. Did I hit all the new states? I think that's it.
I'm just trying to find some of it. So people aged 21 and over allowed to buy and possess up to 2 ounces. Home marijuana growers will be allowed to grow up to 6 plants per person or 12 per household. Scent of marijuana will no longer be grounds for police seizures.
Nice.
Pretty standard fare then. That seems about... That's about how it goes. Anywhere from 1 ounce to 2 ounces, 6 to a dozen plants.
And welcome to the party.
How can you... Didn't New Mexico go for Trump in the last election?
No, I remember Gary Johnson used to run New Mexico.
Oh, right.
I think New Mexico is a blue state.
I can't tell the difference between New Mexico and Arizona.
Oh, Arizona is the red state.
Yeah. That's the red one then.
Yes. Yeah, that's Western Florida. That's where all the old people go.
Right.
Yeah, New Mexico shares a border with Colorado. So I'm sure it was just like, all right, fine. Let's just do this. It's already just pouring in from the north anyway.
Right. It's like you're sharing a room with your older brother.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's trying to blow it through a paper towel tube into a Bounty.
Yeah. A whoopee.
Yeah. He's making a whoopee and trying to blow it out the window, but you can still smell it, and eventually you're going to be like, just give me a toke of that shit.
Did you call it a whoopee? I've heard people call it other things. I can't remember what they are right now.
No, I never call it. I don't even remember having a name for it.
Yeah. It's what you were supposed to do in your dorm room.
Yeah. It was like a catalytic converter.
Yeah, it's the fault in it is most people didn't form a complete seal. I mean that was the general fault of it. If you formed a complete seal around your mouth and blew it out, it might have had a shot. But most people just
they tried to blow it into it.
Yeah, they put their mouth on it like you're
going to want to go into it.
Well, they put their mouth on it like they're hitting a bong, right? They weren't really forming the seal. You know, the bong with the.
Oh, I always seal off my bong. That's why I end up swallowing water sometimes.
I mean, well, no, a seal with the bong comes from the vacuum, right? With the whoopee, there's no vacuum. You're doing the opposite of a vacuum.
I don't know. I didn't go to college, so I never had to smoke under circumstances where I had to cover the scent of it until recently, actually.
It's true. You don't want your kids being like, hey, man,
yeah,
you hit that. Your kids are in high school, man. I guarantee you one of them's done it.
No, they haven't. Not my dweebs.
You got some nerdlets.
Yeah. The Uber CEO says that they might be getting into the cannabis delivery business.
I saw that.
And I was like, I have news for you. You might already be involved in the cannabis delivery business.
It's true. You just don't know it.
And you might be looking for a way to keep some of that money that you're already facilitating.
No, trust me, I'm on the job market again. One thing I've thought about is delivering for dispensaries. But I'm sure that I was talking about this with my friend the other day. I'm sure the tips are feast or famine. Like, you probably get tipped either.
I don't know. I tip my delivery guys pretty healthily.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I imagine most do.
My buddy said I love the phrase he used. He's like, the tips you're getting are you're dealing with people who are either balling or bumming.
Right.
Like people who got enough money to get weed delivered to their house, or you're dealing with fucking a bunch of, more like the people we would have dealt with in our youth, a bunch of fucking stoners all trying to put their money together to get some weed delivered.
Yes. It would be like serving tables at a restaurant that had French cuisine on one side and the other side was also a Denny's.
Yes. Like somebody's coming in with exactly $4.49 to get their moons over my hammy.
Yeah. And a lot of those delivery areas are pretty large because there's not a whole lot of coverage out there in our area. I mean, it's starting to become less so. There's been more places popping up, but coverage is still pretty sparse across our area of Michigan.
For now. I'm sure just as
it's concentrated is the problem.
We're only like a year in to or are we 2 years in to our shops?
Flat circle, man. I don't know. What does time mean? What is money?
Like, didn't our shops open in 2020?
What is any of this?
I don't remember. Yeah, right.
You ever think about what Taco Bell means? Why Taco Bell? Why are you naming it after the bell?
Who rings a bell to eat tacos?
No one's ever had a bell of tacos. Nobody ever said,
right?
Ring that Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's a good
point. And I'll come running. In Massachusetts, it
was the person's name. Glenn Bell was the person who opened the first Taco Bell. So there you go.
Oh, right. I think I did know that at one point. In Massachusetts, the Cannabis Control Commission has launched an online catalog of marijuana products. And you can look at it.
Wait, what? There's a what?
An online catalog that lists all the different types of cannabis products on the market.
Oh, like all of them? Like everything that's available right now throughout
That's what it's claiming.
Like every product?
Not individual strains or anything like that, but all the different types of ways that people can consume cannabis.
Oh.
God, what is going on? So how do I send something then? I can't copy and paste it into here? I'm trying to send you the link through Messenger, and it won't let me do it in any fashion. I can't drag and drop it. Can't copy paste.
Oh, is it because of what it talks about? Remember how we learned with Rich that Messenger can tell what you're sending?
Jesus Christ, really?
Because you're sending an article about pot specifically, it won't let you? Remember Rich sent us a message and then he got like a thing from Facebook? Like, hey, be careful. It was like you sent objectionable content or something.
Oh,
no,
wow.
that's one of the reasons why I don't work our Instagram that much anymore. They changed something to where now if you post a picture, I don't know how the old ones are still up. Maybe it's because the rules were different. They changed some kind of rule where if you post a picture of straight up weed now, it gets yanked down.
God damn it. All right, let me try this. It won't. I can't share it. I was trying to share the story that linked to it. There's got to be a way. Wait a minute. This is insane. This is fucking insane.
It's just a shit website. But no, it's still just sharing a link. It's still just copying an address, yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Zuck's watching you, Aaron.
Well, speaking of Kevin Smith's podcast, like we were earlier, he likes to smoke on his, but they do it live on Facebook. And so he had to start, he would smoke beforehand and then they would take a break and his co-host would do an ad read and he'd black out his screen and take some tokes. And then finally somebody was like, well, Kevin, it's not an issue if you're just smoking clove cigarettes. And then Kevin was like, yeah, but I'm not smoking clove cigarettes. They're like, yeah, but if you were just smoking clove cigarettes, he's like, oh yeah, this is a clove. So for the rest of the episode, he's like, I'm going to enjoy this fine clove cigarette.
A little slow on the uptake there, Kevin. Must have been good shit.
And yeah, so he had to act like he was not smoking pot so that he could take a few tokes of a joint while they did a fucking podcast about comic books.
Come on, man.
This is insane, though. Yeah. There's got to be a way that I can share this in some fashion. No, maybe it's just broken.
Oh, your Facebook's broken. Oh,
there we go.
There it is.
Hey, all right. So, all right. Facebook wasn't blocking me from sending this message to you.
User error.
I don't know. I mean, it was legitimately not working, but I had to reload the page and then it worked. I just went to assumptions. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tagged us for all the shit that we've shared.
Right.
Or sent us some sort of message.
Because I share news stories. I don't share like shit about. I don't post like pictures of pot.
Yeah.
It's like, it'll be stuff from like actual legitimate news sites. But remember too, it was the only, when I used to pay for Facebook advertising, it was the only one I couldn't advertise. At the time, at least.
Right. So I typed cannabis into it. It just has this Cannabis Control Commission, and you can just type in a search word. Let's see. Let's type in vape.
Well, as you can pick a state, but right now the only state available is Massachusetts.
So let's see. Vape product 3D, vape oil bulk, blue sexplosion, Palpatine. Wow, they do have individual strains on here. No pictures with most of these, though. And then the ones they do show, I mean, they say that there's two, like one says prayer pupil, the other one is identified as Mr. Clean, but the photo looks identical. I think it's just the same photo of a 0.5 mil vape cartridge. They have 400. So this is a work in progress, but they have over 400 entries that popped up just on vape alone.
All right, so looking at what this is, for at least right now, it could tell you what everything that's for sale in Massachusetts at a dispensary. Because I typed in cartridge, and it's telling me cartridges I can get and where I can get them. Like Plum Wine cartridge, Cultivate Holdings,
right?
Cartridge Skittles, Central Avenue Compassionate Care. So yeah, it's saying, okay, so at least for now, it's a database of everything that's for sale in Massachusetts, weed-wise.
Yeah, I think the idea is to expand it. It says in this article in the Boston Globe that the first in the nation regulators catalog won't exactly compete with Leafly and Weed Maps. Don't expect genetic information or genetic information or flavor profiles. The idea is to compile basic information and photos in one place so that regulators, consumers, parents, and law enforcement can get a better sense of the type of products that are part of the still young legal cannabis world.
Whatever floats your boat. It's a database.
They also added that it would help them discern between legal products and illicit ones. Because, you know what? Otherwise, you wouldn't know the difference. Because there's not really much difference. You know what the difference between illegal cannabis products and legal cannabis products are? Taxes.
Yeah, and maybe the times of day you can buy them.
Yeah, yes. Availability is a factor, right? Sure. So I guess that's it for now. Welcome, New Mexico.
Yeah.
I can't understand why, with every state we say it, but like, when is the federal government going to act? Still, Biden is like not pushing it. He's still, I don't know. I shouldn't say he's not pushing it. He's still pushing against it.
Yeah, because he's still from that he's from that generation of, ooh,
come on, man.
Bad. Yeah.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah. So I'm sure.
Yeah, you know why our drugs are bad? Because your son already did all the good ones.
Yeah. Hunter did them all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, please like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at the Weedsman 420. Like I said, Instagram is there. But I got to figure out a new... It's a big following to just let sit there. But again, like, you can't post pictures of weed. Like, what are we really doing? I'll figure it out at some point. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the Amazon banner, hit the PayPal banner if you would like to help us out monetarily. One is, with a piece of a purchase, and one is just straight up giving us cash. And then listen to us everywhere. Just anywhere there's
I know what you can do with it. You can do like the porn producers do with their Instagram. They post a picture of them bending over showing their ass or some shit, but they'll blur out just the crack part, and then you gotta go and subscribe to get the real picture. So you should put out pictures
of blurry weed.
Yes. You should post a picture where the actual weed is blurred out in the center, and then it says "Subscribe to my OnlyFans" to see the unlocked version.
It's in the shape of tits. The bud that looks like yeah. There you go. The bud that looks like a woman bending over.
Yeah, and we can start an OnlyFans, and people can subscribe to see the uncensored weed.
There you go. Oh, I'm sure there's a joke in there, a weed version joke, but we're at the end of the show. Mine's not that nimble. Just wherever you listen to us, rate us, review us, because that helps other people find us. And YouTube, we're there too now as well. You find us on YouTube. You can see our faces, but yeah, we're still there. You could listen to the show there. It's whatever way you want to listen to it. We're putting.
You can watch the line squiggle.
Yeah, if you're one of those people. Well, no, maybe. Well, I was gonna say maybe at work, right? But who still goes into the office? But maybe if you're working on your computer, you listen that way. Yeah, that's it. See you next week, and stay high.
Stay high. All right, I'll stitch that together.
If you've got a personal auto insurance question, you could talk to a cab driver, although the policies he recommends might include avoiding the interstate, beating traffic by taking the back roads, and only making left turns when absolutely necessary. Or you could talk to your local Geico agent, whose policy is to use their expertise to navigate your insurance, finding the best route to help you save money on insurance for your home, car, and more. And as an added bonus, you'll be able to avoid traffic jams and potholes entirely. To find a Geico agent near you, visit geico.com/local.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired sports commentator Dick Vitale.
Tonight's matchup is me versus an ugly fender bender. If I can got a win, it would be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your claim.
It's going to be a nail-biter.
Nope. The Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Now that's a dipsy-do dunkaroo of a claims team. Geico is awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net.